Hey everyone, this is Michael for Spirit Comics. Welcome to my review of The Uncanny X-Men number 16. This is a Inhumans vs. X-Men tie-in. Now, this cover is pretty cool, I think. You've got Phantom X on one side. Yes, I've finally learned his name, after a long time it seems. And I believe that's Jean Grey, the young Jean Grey, and who just happens to be a sexy young Jean Grey. Now the way she's drawn is, well, she looks more like a teenager than she does here. I'll explain that when we get into the comic book. But overall, I think the cover is interesting because it shows a labyrinth here, like a maze. There's someone at the middle trying to figure out which way to go. So, and then you've got Jean Grey and Phantom X just sort of looming over the person. Again, maybe that's an Inhuman, I'm not sure. This image is not depicted in the story itself. Okay, so we have here the explanation page where it says, discovering that the Terrigen cloud circling the Earth was on the verge of dissipating into the atmosphere, rendering Earth uninhabitable for mutants, the X-Men decided to take decisive action against the Inhumans. Led by Emma Frost, the X-Men strategically neutralized Inhuman threats, preventing them from interfering in their plans to destroy the cloud. For Jean Grey, this meant physically or psychically imprisoning perhaps the most dangerous Inhuman of all, Karnak, written by Colin Bunn, who now writes X-Men Blue. And in this story we have Phantom X, Jean Grey, and the Stepford Cuckoos. That are three sisters. I recently did some research on them. Very strange origin, but they're cute. So anyway, we open up here in the what appears to be the Inhuman city, New Attilan, I believe. And there's an attacker. I think this is the person that is supposed to be the son of a Wolverine from a different dimension. It says, "What have we got here?" Or maybe this is Sabretooth. This Sabretooth is very similar to that other Wolverine, the son. "What have we got here? A stray Inhuman come to help his friends? Well, you're too late. They got in the way, so they got iced. You want to join them? I'm happy to." And so it looks like this is a confrontation, right? And Karnak, the most dangerous Inhuman of them all, tries to defend himself. And he does pretty well against a savage beast like Sabretooth, it's uncanny because Sabretooth is much stronger than that. This is Sabretooth, and he's more agile. So it appears that Karnak has won. And the art for this issue, it's not outstanding, but it's not dull. So it's somewhere in the middle. It's bright, it catches my attention. And then it appears that Karnak is approached by Medusa, Queen of the Inhumans. "It's about time you showed up, old friend. Queen Medusa, the mutants. They have declared war, yes. We knew this day was coming. The Terrigen Mists have become increasingly poisonous to their kind. Now they strike at us here in the royal city in order to incapacitate us. They seek to destroy the Terrigen Cloud without the Inhumans to stand in their way. Should we? Do not bother responding to my rhetoric, my queen. We both know the answer. The mutants attacked when they might have negotiated. They have made themselves our enemies. That rings true. But something does not. This is not New Attilan, is it? Where? So, this is strange that Medusa isn't talking to him, but he's starting to realize that perhaps that's not even Medusa. Where am I? And so this is the younger Jean Grey, I believe. Karnak's starting to figure it out. He doesn't know. He knows this isn't real. Calm down, Jean. These are the Stepford Cuckoos. We're 4 of the most powerful telepaths in the world. If we can't wrangle him back under our control, I don't know anyone who can. Maybe we should tie him up or something, just in case he does wake up. I don't think it would do any good, Celeste. I'm not sure there's a knot that would hold him. So they're keeping him subdued. The Jean Grey and the Stepford Cuckoos are keeping him subdued by using telepathy. This guy's gift, he can see the weakness in any structure, any plan, any person. Right now, he's the most dangerous inhuman around, at least until we've dealt with the cloud. So, we're going to keep him distracted, running in circles for as long as we can. We're getting a little distracted ourselves. We need to focus, coordinate our energies. Speaking of which, whose bright idea was it to show Sabretooth killing Inhumans? And like I said, I do like the way they drew young Jean Grey here. But now she doesn't seem to be drawn as well. And this one speaks up. This is Irma. That was me. Sorry, I should have warned you, I guess. I just thought if we can keep Karnak angry, it'll be easier to manipulate him. Bad call, Irma. Eventually, once all the ugliness is over and the dust settles, we're going to need to mend fences with the Inhumans. That's going to be a lot harder if they think we're butchers. And that's a Celeste. You believe that, Jean? You believe we're ever really going to mend fences? And so they sit there for a moment, all quiet, just staring at each other, wondering if that's really possible to mend fences. Then this one speaks up. What happens to us when he wakes up? I mean, if he wakes up and finds us here, you saw what he did to Sabretooth. Maybe he kills us. Maybe he escapes. But even if he does, I like that look on her face. Sort of sinister and cunning. Where's he going to go? And then they show a different... This is not really a different location. It's as it says here, the world. Artificial reality, Super Sentinel Factory. Now, if you don't know anything about the Sentinels, they were a bunch of robots that were created long ago by a madman to eliminate mutants. Now, in this artificial reality, there's Phantom X. And he is, I believe, talking with the Stepford Cuckoo Irma. He says, maybe have a care, mademoiselle. If we lost Karnak in here, we might never see him again. The world, this artificial reality, is a big place and full of violent things. And Phantom X is talking with her through telepathy. That's why they're using these weird bubbles. Instead of a speech bubble, it's indicating that they're speaking by telepathic means. That's comforting, especially since you're supposed to be watching over us. But instead, you're gallivanting around on some secret mission, Irma says. Don't worry. And Phantom X says that out loud. I'm not sure if that was to differentiate who is speaking to whom, since both individuals can't be seen in the same place at the same time. Automaton will not let any harm befall you, he says. I think it's him. Besides, if we want Karnak off the playing field, why not let him go? Sounds like cutting him loose might be good for all of mutant kind. That's coming from Irma. Perhaps, but it would not serve our ulterior motives, Phantom X says. If he wakes up, he'll be none too pleased with the little telepaths who are holding him prisoner. Automaton is programmed to shield you from the world, not from Inhumans, and I'm not there to protect you in such a circumstance. I think that was Phantom X. We can take care of ourselves, Phantom X. The false chivalry isn't necessary. I mean, I think that was uncalled for. The false chivalry isn't necessary. That just seems out of place. Really? I mean, they're in a war, and you have to inject that into the dialogue. He says, of course, I never intended to impugn your abilities. Then he says, after all, I couldn't do this without you. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? And then Irma's getting really sarcastic. She says, that's how mental links work. He says, don't be judgy. It's not often that I willingly allow anyone to telepathically connect with me. She says, afraid I'll uncover some deep-rooted secret? And he says, with a very straight face in his tone of voice, afraid one of my long-forgotten psychic landmines might go off and give you an explosive aneurysm. Because Phantom X, I don't remember how he was born, but I think he was born in a lab through a test tube or something. He's not the regular mutant. There's something different about him. I can't remember. He says, it looks as if I've been noticed. The likelihood of aggression means I'm heading in the right direction. If you don't mind, patch me through to Karnak. That was kind of funny. It's like asking a telephone operator. And he says, let's see how he would handle this dilemma. So, Karnak is seeing all these X-Men appear from out of nowhere. And Phantom X is looking into his mind. So he sees how Karnak is defending himself against, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mutants. And that's Cyclops with a, eye blast. And I'm not sure who all the rest of them are, but that kind of looks like Celeste, but I'm not sure. Anyway, Karnak is very agile. He's not someone that'll go down easy. And I think that this is Irma speaking right here. I'm still unsure why we're keeping this a secret from the others, Phantom X. What you're doing? Yes, I'm fighting the good fight. Somehow, the forces behind the Someday Corporation were using world biotechnology to try to enhance the sleeper mutants. They failed in quite bloodily, but they still managed to hack this system. And maybe he's talking about this artificial world. I elected myself as the guardian of the world, the stalwart defender of all its secrets. I must make sure the breach is sealed. And it would appear the world is in no mood for my intervention today. Gee, you think so, Karnak? Look, he's being attacked from, all sides, it appears. But he's not defenseless. And then we look back into the mind of Karnak. A computer virus on the physical plane designed to steal information and protect itself using the factory to create its own defenses. While doing so, the other, and that's Phantom X speaking, and this is Irma. The others would understand. They wouldn't want to look the other way. Of course not, he says, and that is why they must be kept in the dark, I'm afraid. The others have a mission of their own to attend to. 3 telepaths can compensate for 1 distracted mind. I'm not sure they could handle the distraction though. And that is Psylocke coming at Karnak. At least that mutant I can recognize. He says that was oddly satisfying. And keeping Karnak under our influence isn't solely so you can patch into his weakness awareness to help you accomplish your goals. He says, you wound me, dear. You know as well as I do. How dangerous the world can be. And he's referring to that artificial reality. And I have no idea what these things are. But Irma sees them, and she is distracted. Because she literally drops her jaw when she sees what Karnak sees. It looks like people in vials or tubes or something. But then the others, Jean and the other 2 Stepford Cuckoos, they start to figure out something's going on. Jean says, what was that? Who did that? It wasn't me, Celeste says. Me either, Irma. So they look to her. What's wrong? I've lost connection. I'm sorry. I guess I just lost focus. It's unsafe for me to lose connection here, Phantom X is telling her. What was that anyway? It looked like it's nothing you need to worry about, Jane. What are you doing, Irma? Showing that, revealing that we were born here like the other weapons created in this place. Not cool. So apparently the Stepford Cuckoos were born in this artificial reality. I know. Alright? It just sort of slipped out. I got everything under control now. Okay. Everybody just... And now she's starting to sound more like, a teenager, Okay. But that at this time they were drawing her very much like the old Jean Grey, the one that died. And this story is fairly straightforward. It's only in one place, But what happens is they keep trying to distract Karnak by making him think that he's battling more mutants. Keep your head in the game. I think that's Phantom X, because we see Rogue, Nightcrawler, Banshee, Storm, Old Man Logan, Domino, Colossus, Blob, Gambit, Mystique, Toad. I think that's the Archangel, Warren Worthington. And so I guess they're putting all these extra images in his mind to keep him distracted, or at least attempt it. But this one man, Karnak, keeps fighting back. And then he thinks he's talking to Medusa again, who says, Karnak, they have taken your people prisoner. Don't let this happen. Free them. This is not real, he says, but the Inhumans. And then we go back to seeing Phantom X. Yes, we all have species to save, he says. Inhuman, mutant, and whatever is beyond. The virus, like a flower, its petals opening. After all the obstacles, welcoming me. And this is someday. It's a sentinel head, I believe. Phantom X, be careful. I'm getting some interference, but I'm plugging this thing, whatever it is, into Karnak's neural pathways. Someday is gone, Karnak says. The mutants they infected with world technology have been set free, and you are someday. I was going to say useless, and then use my devilish charm and powers of misdirection to convince you to commit suicide, because it's just a machine. But let's have a look at you before I do anything too rash. It appears he's trying to make himself look like Karnak, because on one side you see his real face, Phantom X. On the other side, he looks like Karnak. There we are. That's how someday hacked into your systems, isn't it? Let's just do away with that. Make sure no one else has the chance to follow the back door they've... Then he's got that shocked look on his face. Well, what have we here? Phantom X? Is it done? Can you hear me? This is Irma. And he says, I hear you, darling Irma, but now is the time for you to be quiet. Oops. Sorry about that. He puts this blocker on him. He says, excuse me while I place the anti-psi plating back in my mask. Wait, don't just... And that means that she cannot contact him telepathically. He's getting distracted, hearing her voice over and over. And, I can sort of see why. He locked me out. He did? Jean says. I'm not detecting any changes in his mental state. Of course, Jean thinks that Irma is referring to Karnak, this guy here in the middle. Irma says, no, not Karnak. It was Phantom X. Phantom X? What are you talking about? He saw this as an opportunity, a chance to use Karnak to help him stop another threat to mutants. And Jean says, so that's where all the psychic non-sequiturs were coming from. Everything we're trying to do, you put at risk. I thought I was helping, Irma says. There won't be any mutants to hold up, to help if we screw this up. It doesn't matter anyway, okay? He's gone now. I don't know what he's up to, but the mental connection is severed. You must have known this was wrong, Irma. Otherwise, you would have told us. You better hope this didn't jeopardize the mission. There it is, the breaking point. Okay. That's zoom in and then zoom out. This thing behaves kind of weird. And so Phantom X is still trying to get into the someday system here, because you can see everything starting to go crazy. Someday. That's right, someday, but not now. There's a new utility function in town. Destroy? Someday? Hunt and harvest? You mean my mutant friends? No. Let them have their war. I'm done with all that. There are much more interesting opportunities to consider. I've gutted the Someday Corporation's access point to the world's system, that artificial reality. But I couldn't just leave this void I created tentless, could I? I've seeded my ego and superego into the network. All hail the God King virus. I dare say when I next see my old allies and my old enemies, I will be quite changed. Everybody wants to rule the world. No, I will become the world. That's an interesting reference to the song by Tears for Fears. Everybody wants to rule the world. And of course, this one shows the upcoming issues. And that was a nice issue, but I think there could have been more meat to it. Maybe tell a little bit more story. It just seemed, it wasn't fast paced. It was slow, and even for me, it was difficult to pick up on the story. But eventually, by the end, I got a hang on it. So it wasn't too bad. But the best part was the cover. And this was a tie-in, so it wasn't exactly in line with the story. It was more like, I think, mixing a separate story in with the Inhuman X-Men War. So it was okay. But maybe the next one will be better. I mean, it's been a while since I've read these, so hey, it's like it's gonna be new for me again, all over. Did you like this issue? Uncanny X-Men number 16? Well, if you did, comment down below. Comment even if you didn't like it. And please do subscribe to my channel. Smash that bell like She-Hulk. And like and share the review if you did enjoy it. Well, until next time, true readers,